It's
Oh,
been
there you
nice.
are. You did good. Well,
Okay,
we'll just say
this is
we're
only
early.
a test.
We'll just go early. No, let's just stay on. We're early.
Just stay on.
I'll see if we're there yet. Hey, Alison.
No, come on, no. Hang on.
Are you hanging up? Okay, we are virgins.
Okay, we're starting early because we're here.
Starting early because we're that good. I'm trying to see if we're on though. Does anybody? Okay, let me see. Okay, Virgin Authors live. Anyway, you guys talk while I keep looking, because then this is what will happen, Allison, is that it'll start like exploding in our background. We'll be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I was going to the Virgin Authors Facebook page too to see if I could see it, and I was like, the sound is going to come on, and then it's going to be a disaster, and we're all going to enter an echo chamber. It's going to be terrible.
All right,
we've done that. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
So
hey, everybody, if you're out there, I don't know, we're sorry because we're virgins.
Because we are here today without Mandy McGuire, our technical expert, which is
she's the youngest. She's the youngest. We love her. Okay. All right, so we're making sure. Let me see, Virgin Authors. Oh, there.
Okay, so
yeah, we're there.
There it is.
I can see us. We're good. All right. Hey, everybody. All right. I'm gonna we're just talking
get started
right now to Allison. We get an extra 5 minutes with Allison. Poor Allison. Look at her background. How cool. Can I just point that out?
Yeah, I waited a number of years, and for a long time I sat in a corner of our apartment writing Strange Gods. But we moved into a house 4 years ago, and I waited a really long time to firmly establish like a home office environment. Like I was like, I don't know, work from home cropping up, and like it was on the beginning of my publishing journey. I didn't have time. I was editing a book, so I didn't have time to deal with it. But over the last year, I've been transforming it into a very fantastical office.
It is. It's gorgeous. But hang on one sec. Jana, why don't you welcome any visitors who showed up early?
Yeah.
Get started.
I'll just repeat it at 8 or my time 8. I'm in Colorado, Allison, and she wrote in the book. Okay, guys, welcome to the Virgin Authors. I'll talk really slowly, so it'll be 5 minutes of this. We're the Virgin Authors. We really appreciate, we're virgins. That's why we are goofing around here. We are 3 friends bonded by our love of writing and struggling to navigate the publishing world. I'm Jana Vandelar.
And I'm Lissa Reitz.
Virgin Authors.
Allison is not. Mandy is at the Sonoma County Writing Camp having a marvelous time by all accounts, and she can't be with us tonight. But I am delighted to introduce our guest. I first met Allison when I took a social media class from her at the PNWA Writers Conference during the pandemic. And then last year, I was so excited to get to meet her in person and have her autograph my copy of her book. Thank God, which we were talking all about.
Yeah, did you know that I was in the class too, Lissa? Excuse me for interrupting.
Oh, were you?
We kind of have scripts, guys, but I'm not very good at it. Lisa and Lissa, Mandy and Lisa are Lissa, whatever. But no, I was in your class too, Allison.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't see anyone because that was the digital event. So I literally didn't even know if anyone was there, and I just presented for 40 minutes.
Terrible.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Well, listen, Allison is a very talented writer with an original voice, and her debut novel, Strange Gods, was published by a small press in 2021. She's at work on her next novel, which I really hope is a sequel, but we'll find that out in a little while too, as well as an anthology of short stories. Allison believes in the power of stories to shape our world and ourselves. Her writing blends the real with the fantastical and crosses over genres. She lives in the Pacific Northwest with her husband and spends her time walking in the woods and seeking adventures both large and small. Welcome to the show, Allison. Thanks for being here.
Honestly. It's an incredible book, and I'm just going to start off by saying I'm not young adult. I'm not, which Lissa is, and I'm not fantasy at all. I'm just cartoon kind of personality. But it's an amazing book. You sucked me in from the beginning, and I can hardly wait to talk about it. But okay, go ahead, Liz.
Oh, I also, I just want to say that your class on Instagram really inspired me to gain a little bit of confidence with social media and let go of some of my fears. And I'm not consistently active, but I did open an Instagram account, and
I think you're doing
you're
great.
the first author I followed. It was Instagram, right? Not Twitter.
Yeah, Instagram. I mean, I talked about Twitter a little bit, but Instagram was the main one I focused on for platform.
Yeah. And I was like, no way, I just got going on Twitter. I'm not doing something.
You were doing really good on Twitter too. You were like,
Now
and then you switched to Instagram because of Allison. Yeah, you did. You're doing great though on it. So yeah. Okay, so well, we're on. Okay, I get an F on Instagram. I actually hired a friend to help me.
Wow.
So Allison,
that face, Allison.
we're gonna be, well, I mean, I just don't do it very well. I'm trying. I did today all personal things, and this week just because of you to promote it. Did anybody see it? Anybody?
I saw the story you just posted. Yeah.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
it was great. I thought it was great.
I'm trying, but yours are so cute. I'm like, okay, so I need to learn the snap things.
I mean, I don't do.
You're talking to each other. Oh my god.
Yeah, those are a little harder, but I haven't done as much Instagram. It's everything comes in waves with writing, right? Like you have periods where you're writing, periods where you're editing, periods where you're promoting, periods where you're building a platform and building a community or networking, but it's very hard for most people to do everything at once. So I did a lot of Instagram for a year and a half, for a lot of social, and then now I'm kind of in a writing period again. So I'm still posting, but it's much less regular. Like for a while, I was really, multiple times a week, very consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I I just loved it because I thought, how is she switching from talking to each other to yourself?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that list, but it's really cute. So
Thanks.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about is well, first of all, congratulations, because you won an American Book Fest Best Book Award for Young Adult Fiction in 2021 when your book came out, which, oh my God, that must have been such a thrill.
That's so exciting. I mean, you never know. There's a lot of contests out there that are time bound, right? So you have to send your book in the time frame, and you never know what books you're up against. Like especially in young adult, that's not really a genre. It's like an age group. Like young adult fantasy is a more of a genre. So you could be up against teen dramas and everything.
Wow.
So it really doesn't say. It's not to say that if you win or if you don't win, you never know what judges are looking for. It's so subjective, like what type of genre or vibe they prefer. So it was very, very exciting to win. But
I understand that award is a big help in marketing your book. And so I was curious, since you publish, what you've done to build your reader base and how much you've used social media and how much your publisher helps and how much you credit that award with helping sell your book. Do you have?
Sure.
Sorry, that was like 8 questions.
Like everything. Well, how long do you have? Maybe we can narrow in. But broadly speaking, I think that one of the big things you need when a book comes out, because a lot of books come out every year, self-published. Is my sound okay?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, great. A lot of books come out every year, and I think the first thing readers are looking for is just basic signals of like interest, like description, the cover, the title,
Love your cover.
genre. Thank you. Well, I didn't do it, but thank you. And then they're looking, the next thing they're looking for is social proof. So you need like a basic veneer of professionalism and signals to readers who would like your type of book. Like you don't want a cartoonish cover on a horror novel or like a really heavy drama. So you want to send all the right signals. And then the next thing is really social proof. So hopefully a publisher, or if you're self-publishing, professional engagements can help with looking polished on those fronts. But social proof is the thing that is really up to authors often in today's publishing world to go get, which means getting reviews from people. Your publisher might help submit you for awards. That's another form of external proof. But those kind of things are really crucial to start to build evidence that your book is worth reading so that people feel confident picking it up. in terms of what my publisher helped with and what I did myself. So there's a lot of things, but awards is something that publishers can sometimes help you submit for. Some awards or types of professional reviews are limited by how big your publisher is or what their connections are. Like some awards you can't enter just as like a small press. Some are limited to large presses, or some are by committee. Like you can't nominate your book, or your publisher can't submit your book. It has to be like nominated by a member of the committee. So it depends on the caliber, but
I didn't actually know any of that.
Yeah, no, I didn't know any of that either.
So there's a lot of layers, right? Like there's a lot of gates, but the point is that people want signals that your book is worth reading, but the reward came actually far later. So awards sometimes are like sometimes they're a year in the year of publication. So 2021 books or 2022 books. Sometimes there are longer time frames, like books that came out in the last 2 years. But I didn't win that award until a lot of my promotion and getting the book out there and building social proof was already out in the world. So that was helpful, but it wasn't like a huge banner moment because I had already done a lot to get reviews and get promotion opportunities and get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered about that, like putting the stamp on the cover, and stuff like that. It comes so late sometimes that it's hard.
Sometimes, yeah.
So I was wondering about that. But so you kind of touched on the publisher. So can you tell us? So you're with a small press called Immortal Productions, correct?
Immortal Works, yeah.
Oh, Immortal Works. I'm sorry. Did it change?
No.
Yeah, no, which is I love their name because they want your work to be immortalized.
Yeah, it's a great tagline. Yeah.
I don't know how I missed that because I was listening to the end of your book and you're writing all the thanks and stuff, and I guess I had it in my head for production.
Oh, that's right. Jana listened to the audiobook.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a minute too. But yeah, so I guess now it requires authors to be agented to submit. But did you sign on with them before that, or do you have an agent now? As virgins.
So it's a funny story actually. So when I finished this book, it's kind of a strange book.
It's a great book. I'm not into that at all, but it's really
it's very different, which is I think something that has appealed to readers and really helped. On the other hand, the publishing industry doesn't always want to take a risk on different. Like it's not a vampire book or like a witch book or there's not a lot of like analogs to the type of fantasy. It's kind of an invented world of weirdo gods and monsters that's not like, oh, it's the Roman gods or it's classic mythology or any other things. It's completely invented. So when I was querying, I really didn't know whether this would be the first book I published. It's the first book I've written. Took a really long time. I mean, I spent a lot of time on it, but it was the first novel I'd written, and I didn't know if it'd be too strange for people to take a chance on a first-time author. And so I was querying agents, and I didn't spend as long querying agents as I could have. Because I kind of had that like voice in the back of my head that it's not going to be something that people are like, oh, it's the next dystopian novel, or it's the next, it didn't feel like it had like a clear category for success of just like strange, weird monsters, Beetlejuice. And so
what it kind of reminded me of is some of those weirdo gods. And did you ever watch the TV program The Magicians?
I did watch a little bit of that. That was a book first, right?
Oh, I don't know. I just watched it on whatever it is, Netflix or something. And there are some strange gods in there as well.
Yeah. Adult themes as well. I mean, I'm not sure if that's why. I'm not sure if that's why.
Definitely not YA. No.
But yeah, that's true. They do have some weird gods in that one that are made up.
So great because of YA. But so did you end up going directly to Immortal Books?
So no, so I actually was querying agents, and I didn't spend that long querying agents because I had this doubt in my mind about like how successful I'd be. But I actually did Pit Mad, which is a Twitter pitch contest for anyone who doesn't know. Put the pitch online. I got some requests, and one of them was Immortal Works. So I actually was not submitting to publishers. And when they first reached back out to me and said, we'd love to see the full manuscript. And then eventually like they reached out and said, we'd love to, or I got an email that said, I'm sending this to the editor, like our chief editor. I want to submit it for us to acquire. And I was like, acquire? Like, that's not,
Big
that's
word
not the
there.
language I'm used to. Yeah. So I looked at their website, like I vetted them, but I was just only looking at them from the lens of, I thought all the books that were listed on their website were books they had represented. I didn't understand that they were a publisher, because I was just responding to their query on PitMad. And I was like, oh, this looks good. They look polished. They look professional. Like, cool. They're an agency that represents these books.
Yeah.
And then I got this email that they wanted to recommend me for acquisition. And I was like, the who? So I had already put the book, I didn't spend that long querying because I'd already put Strange Gods in a drawer, because I was like, I should just write something else. I believed in this book, like I believed in its merit, but I thought later I'll write a different book. I'll get an agent relationship out of something that maybe feels more normal, or who knows, maybe I would have written some weird nonsense that was just as hard to place. And later I'll sell them Strange Gods and be like, this deserves to be promoted as well. So I didn't have an agent when I found Strange Gods. An agent is definitely not required for plenty of small presses. I know a number of small press people who don't have agents, or, you know, maybe I actually know a number of authors who have had agents, had them, lost them, had them for a while, worked with the press. You know, the relationships can evolve over time, but I'm currently unagented, but have a publisher.
So,
yeah. I mean,
so they
it sounds like they're really backing you too quite a bit. So I'm sorry for this.
So they didn't say you have to go get an agent.
No. I mean, some large publishers maybe would say that and would provide you like a list, but for the most part, once you're into contract negotiations, it's more for your benefit as an author.
Yeah.
Have like advice, and I did have someone help me with the contract, and just help me understand like what I was looking at and what I was signing on for. But plenty of presses, if you've already made it through the gates of an editor wants to acquire it, that's really the phase that they want an agent to stand between, not like the contract and beyond.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so
yeah, no,
they picked this book up.
Yeah,
you already put it in a drawer. So what were you working on?
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I was working on back then. Actually, I actually don't know. I know it wasn't Strange Gods 2. Because at that time, you know, obviously, if I was just thinking, oh, I'm going to put this aside, I wasn't going to write the next one. I actually don't remember. And while I was editing and promoting Strange Gods, I started like 7 different books, because I spent so long on Strange Gods. I had a lot of ideas that were just waiting. So it might have been a YA fantasy that I have a draft of called Moon Dream, but I'm not sure what it was at the time.
Okay, but have you finished now?
Listen, wants number 2.
I
do too, actually.
I'll be a beta reader.
Okay, so I actually don't share whether there is or is not a Strange Gods 2, because
I was like, no, it's not. It's number 2.
Technically, so I just don't talk about it, because technically the internal and external arc of the story is complete. Even though that makes readers sad. And I'm not saying there is or is not. I just have not confirmed whether there is or is not a Strange Gods.
Guys, I mean,
she will neither confirm nor deny.
Now we're not getting an exclusive scoop here. No, honestly, I have to say, your writing is beautiful too. I mean, you know, I don't know, punched holes, lights punched holes. I mean, I'm like, I would just say there's holes in the wall, and you're like, you know, there are holes punched through that show light through. I don't know, it's early in the chapters, but and then
it's so hard when you're listening to the audiobook. You can't go back and say, what was that? That was really pretty.
I do like the audio for that. And okay, so we'll segue on to that, because I've been listening to it. I was showing everybody. I don't know, that's my, but it's really good. And she's a good reader, and it wouldn't be easy with all the different gods and
yes, that's funny. So I have not listened to the audiobook.
You haven't? Okay.
No.
I'll tell you.
It's like listening to yourself talk. Like, I don't think I can handle it. And I generally don't listen to audiobooks very much. Like, the pace is being set for me is not something I like. And then literally it just makes me cringe, because it's like my work. But I sent her the audiobook narrator was wonderful, because the publisher did all that. So like, they selected the narrator, they produced it. I had very little involvement, and she reached out and she asked me how to pronounce the names, which is great.
They're tough names, right?
Weird names. So I actually sent her voice recordings of how I thought of the names being pronounced, so that she could pronounce them correctly. which is great because I've met authors that have had like their main character's name isn't even a weird name and it's pronounced wrong, and everyone always assumes the author is like involved and in control of that creative process, and that's not true at all. And so, you know, sometimes you get your book set in stone as like a cover with this is what the main character looks like, or an audiobook of this is how the names are pronounced, so the place is pronounced, and it's not accurate to what the
Well,
author.
so I'm going back to, oh, I'm so sorry, Liz, but you're going, so Immortal Books. You said you didn't pick the cover, but I mean, it's a beautiful cover and it looks just like your office. So I mean, did you have any, I mean, are you like, because a lot of I mean, that's what kind of worries me. I've done two books, children's books that are self-published just because I wanted the control.
Yeah,
you know,
no, totally. I mean,
so
I
is
hear
it okay?
yeah, well, so the actually, I don't think I've ever told this story. So the cover, I love the cover. I really like it.
Ew.
You know, like I definitely have heard stories of people who did not, bless you, did not like their covers, got covers they weren't happy with. And sometimes you have an opportunity to do back and forth, sometimes you don't. Sometimes the publisher will just say, too bad. Marketing department says, like, RIP your dreams.
Yeah, right.
So, when the cover came back, I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, but it actually was green. So it looked very much like this, but it was like green vines and like a green background. And I was like, I don't actually think that really fits the vibe, because it looked very elven and very sort of Celtic, ancient, whatever. And it's a contemporary YA set at a camp. It's a little creepy, it's a little ooky spooky. And literally they go to an upside down world, you know, Carcass's forest that's kind of like Earth, but not like Earth. And it's devoid of green. And this is like one of those things that I know that like the readers don't even know. In my head, I'm like, Carcass has trouble. He tries to copy things on Earth and make them in his world, but he has trouble making green. So he just cut it out. Like that's in my head, like the reason why. So obviously like the cover artist didn't know that. But I reached back out and I was like, hey, like, I know that this is what the marketing department has recommended, but please, can we change the color scheme? Because it really doesn't fit the logic of the book and some things in it. Yeah.
No, again, wait for Immortal Books because they listen to you, you know.
Yeah, right. What about the
symbols?
I don't have that.
Yeah. Which because it's
I actually made those. I made those myself.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. My sister's an artist, so I went and I had her help me go into, I can't remember what system, some Illustrate tool. And I had her help me, like I drew them by hand and I had her help me draw them so that I could get them on the cover. So I actually did make those symbols myself.
But they're all integrate. You're right. They all are. I don't have that on my audiobook, but I guess I didn't even click that. I just love the swirls. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So they're the symbols of the different worlds that they visit. And it may not be something that a reader would notice, and certainly not an audiobook reader, but as you go chapter by chapter, it shows the symbol of the world you're in.
Yeah.
But it's not super overt. It would just be if you happen to notice, like if you go to a different world, it's a different symbol.
Oh, that is so creative.
They're like private gateless stargates.
In the back, do you have all the acknowledgements that she has on the audiobooks? I'm going to try to up it. Oh, dang. Okay, never mind that. Because I thought that was really cool, because I think you talked about that in the acknowledgement, something about your sister, somebody helping you. Yeah.
I mean, you know, my siblings were a huge support. Yeah. I mean, actually, I did thank that same sister. Yes, he jumped in again when I was out of my depth with the symbols. That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, so now where did your idea come from? I mean, this
wait. I want to be more specific about that question. So, because it's such an interesting premise, and it starts out as, you know, a pretty typical coming of age story. The kid gets shipped off to the camp and blah, blah, blah. And then it takes this left turn and it's fantasy that manages to be kind of dark, but like still you have so much humor in it.
Yeah, definitely. I like that tone. I like that tone of like things. I think that people who've thought more about this than me have identified the similarity between humor and horror in some ways.
Yeah.
But I like a good spirited darkness. Like you don't feel like you're actually going to fall in the darkness with something really nasty, but things are a little creepy or a little weird or maybe a little frightening, but like Carcass particularly embodies that, where you feel like
He's one of the gods.
he's one of the, sorry, Carcass is one of the gods. He's like the main god. And like initially he's quite hateful, but you kind of grow to love him a little bit. And I like that interplay of like, it's a little gross, it's a little strange, it's a little weird, but you kind of trust it in some way. I think the most disturbing characters are the ones that are cute, but are actually sinister, like
Like
Jackie.
the deer.
The deer. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert, people. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, the idea, I was at this is also a weird story. Maybe not all of my stories are weird, but this is a weird story too. I was at a 10-day silent meditation retreat. I thought about writing a book, but I wasn't like trying to ideate. I just thought, oh, it might be like, I really love books. Maybe I want to write one. And I was trying silent meditation where you're not supposed to think about anything. And I actually thought first of Carcass and his horse. On like worlds, and he like on worlds swirling in white mist, so separate worlds, and him being on this like other world. And it kind of started there. And I would have to give some spoilers to explain like how it evolved, but like what would it mean if there were these gods and these other worlds? What do they want? Why are they there? Like what's the nature of the universe, and how would they interact with our world? And that was kind of the start of the idea.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
during
so-
meditation, people. We're not supposed to think of it. Go ahead.
One of the books I'm writing right now is science fiction, not fantasy, like science fiction, young adult. And so I'm reading a lot of young adult books. And I really have to say, your writing is such a pleasure, Alison.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, your world is original, your characters are fully formed, your style is easy, but you're still tackling important themes. And it's given me a lot to think about, because I won't mention any names, but some of the books out there, pick them up and they're just terrible.
Yeah.
And even ones that aren't self-published.
Oh yeah. I think like this is it is incredibly difficult to write a book. And if you successfully write a book, you are in a minority of people that deserves a lot of credit for bravery and for perseverance and for effort. It's a lot of work to write a book. A lot of people have a book in them or want to write a book, but writing a book is an accomplishment. But if you want to feel better about yourself on your publishing journey, there are plenty of published books that it doesn't feel like they took a lot of time editing or thinking through. And sometimes that's related to getting in on a trend, something that's popular, so it gets published maybe before it's ready. But it can be sometimes like a helpful reflection, because there's so much rejection in the publishing process. It's sometimes good to see that rejection and those gates, they aren't necessarily always a signal of quality, like not in the slightest. It can just be timing, luck, the person who read it loved it. I mean, there's always something to appreciate. So like, it could just be a subjective thing, but just because your work is getting rejected doesn't mean that work that's published through a big press and successful financially is better. It really doesn't.
Did Immortal Books, I have it in my notes.
Immortal Works.
Works, thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna scratch
Okay.
that out because I have it written down the wrong way. But Immortal Works, did they edit anything, or did you just here? I gotta find it.
No. So they did editing. So they acquired it, and then they gave me like a guide of things to do myself, and then they had a 4 to 6 month period where I worked with an editor. The problem with that for me was that I didn't think I was submitting it to a publisher, so I didn't feel that it was ready when they acquired it. So I killed myself rewriting it for 4 months or more. When they would give me some minor feedback, like, oh, can you make this a show, not a tell? But it was no major rewrite. Like, there's no oh, can you add a character? Or
Nothing development.
Well, that's really good. I mean, that's huge.
Well, to be fair, a lot of publishers won't acquire, like they don't want to do developmental edits. Like sometimes an agent will recommend a developmental editor. Sometimes agents even will work with you on developmental edits, but publishers, from what I've heard these days, usually won't, right? They've acquired something that they feel is pretty good, but she would send me back 10 edits and I'd be like, oh my God. So I nothing vital to the plot changed. Like the beats remain very much the same, because I spent a long time on the book, but I didn't feel it was ready when they said yes. So I really hammered it. Like 2 paragraphs became 1 all over the place. Like sentences got refined, and I completely burned myself out for like 4 months on editing.
I
Yeah.
don't know how you kept it all together because there's so many facets in it, but
I know that's the problem with writing a book. Who can hold it all in their
Right.
head? I know.
right, there's just, and yours especially, I have simpler plots and stuff, but we have a good one of our fellow writers in our writing group, Gita. She's on, and she's saying, she asked 2 things. I appreciate you being here tonight. Can you talk a bit about your process and your daily writing process? Thank you. And then she said, when you were talking about the meditation thing, she said, oh, were you at the, and I'm going to slaughter this too, the VIPASSANA. Oh, you do know about it. 10-day silence.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's horrible. No,
Oh,
it's the hardest thing you will ever do. It is incredibly valuable and wonderful, but it is so hard.
Oh, wow.
Like the first day they invite you in and they're like, don't leave. Like whatever you do, try to stick it out. Like you came here to try to learn how to do this, like try to stay. And I was like, what? Like, why are they like warning us? Like,
that is not
why
good.
would we leave? But it's like brain jail. Like so hard to focus. You can't, like, it's not like you're sitting there in theory, you'd be like, oh, you're sitting there, you can think your own thoughts. Like, you know, we're writers, like we have vivid imaginations, we can be telling our story. You have to not do that. And it's so hard, but it's very, very valuable. I'm not trying to dissuade people, but it's very challenging. Anyway.
Oh, that's interesting. Gita, good question there, girl. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know, Alyssa, I keep interrupting. So Melissa,
No,
well, I'm kind of monitoring. And that's why I have go ahead.
So you said on your website, I think that, or maybe it's in the back of the book or something, but you said you're also working on a book of short stories.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit. So I've been writing these short stories, and they've been kind of coming to me like in dreams and in automatic writing sessions, and it's kind of interesting. But now there's 3 of them, so I'm thinking maybe I'll put them aside and I'll get more and I'll do a whole book of them. But so tell me a bit about yours.
Yeah, so I wrote short stories before I wrote a novel. Strange Gods is my first novel, but the way that I practiced so I actually had the idea for Strange Gods and I was like, shoot, I don't know how to do that. So I wrote short stories while I worked on the outline and while I drafted and while I kind of like evolved my writing practice. So I have a number of short stories. I have throughout publishing heard this idea that some people have that like it's easier to break in with short stories into publishing. I don't actually think that's true. Well, it is easier to get a short story published. A lot of people write short stories. So to really get like traction or build an audience by writing short stories and then getting awareness out there, like it's not as, it's some people, I remember when I started, like, I don't know, 7 years ago or something, like hearing that from other writers, like, oh, you write short stories, you get those published, you build an audience, and then you can like publish a novel more easily. I don't really think that's true anymore. I mean, that's like a
Well, isn't that idea?
So I don't know about that, but and I don't even know if traditional publishers, honestly, like from what I heard, and this is a little outdated, this is something that I heard before COVID, like unless you're a very big name, big brand, traditional publishers won't publish an anthology. So it's something that I have on the back burner. It's like you, like I like short stories come to me. I'm like, oh, this is an interesting idea. I'll write one, or like occasionally I'll hear like a author friend of mine or someone, I'll hear about an anthology and I'm like, oh, what would I write for that theme? You know, but I don't have any particular designs on like what I'm going to do with that. I just have this kind of backlog of like, oh, maybe one day I'll put this out as like a themed set of short stories.
So did Immortal Works make any kind of offer or promise or anything about another book, or did they just take this one book?
Just the one. However, they do have right of first refusal on the second, meaning that they get the right to make an offer. And I mean, I feel pretty good
on anything you write, or just on?
Oh, sorry. So for Strange Gods 2, if I were to write a second,
if she were to write it,
if such a thing were to come into existence,
Not sure.
a first refusal. For other things I write, so Immortal Works is a clean fiction press. So they do like dark themes or even horror or murder, but they do keep the theme like closed door for any sex scenes. And so like not everything that I write, and I assume there's levels of gore and things that they would like limit. So not necessarily everything that I would ever write would be a fit for this publisher.
Right.
Because that's who they've kind of built some of their audience around. Because what, you know, Strange Gods is clean. Like it's a little creepy, but it's not like horrifically, dramatically, you know, pushing boundaries, right? Like it's just a little spooky.
Yeah. Twilight.
I just really am going to tie in because we did kind of promise on my
Promotion.
Oh, well, and it ties in with Gita again, but about your daily thing and how you strengthen your support base. And you did have a lot of thank yous at the end. And it sounds like you had, you know, I mean, I pay my kid to read my book. I'm like, please read it. But no, I don't. But I mean, I'm just saying, so how do you strengthen it? And that kind of ties in with your daily, like, is it through Instagram? Is that, you know, or through media? Okay, really quick.
Well, so let me talk about promotion a little bit, because I love talking about writing. We can talk about it. We have not that much time left forever. But so basically what I would say about building your base in general, if I can do that in 1 minute, is
I know, good luck.
Different phases of writing lend themselves to different audiences. Like when I was published, when I had a product, it opened up so many things that I could do that I couldn't do before when I was just writing. But I knew I had a publisher contract before I had a book for people to read. So then what do you do? And so what I tell people getting on social media, often for the first time, is the start of your base is connecting with other writers. Like this whole conversation we just had, we could pretend that it was like an example of how like what you will have, like readers don't necessarily want to hear like, oh, I'm writing, like maybe, but like if they don't have a work of yours that they've read where they can appreciate your style and your characters and what you bring as an author, like you're going to connect more with other writers who are going to be interested in what you're doing and empathize with where you're at and like be that base for you. They can be beta readers and they can be critique buddies and they can be ARC reviewers too. Like a lot of writers
can scrape you up off the floor when you get rejected.
We all do that. So
100%. So that is the first community I recommend tapping into. And you can do that on Twitter. You can do that on Instagram. You can do that on TikTok if you're really brave. You can do that. YouTube, maybe less so in terms of the back and forth. But that is probably the place that I would start to build a base, and where I really started to find my feet on Instagram was following other authors, commenting on their posts, like engaging. It's not a one-way street. Like you have to start engaging with people who you see their pages and you like what they're doing, and you know maybe they're a few steps ahead of you, but you can also follow their content and see what they post and see how you feel about it, and gives you ideas for what you should post and what other people would like to see. So that's my
that's a huge help for all of our virgins out there. I'm going to say a virgin till 90, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Alison, for joining us tonight. And it was
for 10 minutes. Yeah, but go ahead. It goes.
I know, right? Are we going to see you at PNWA this year?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard from them. They said they were going to reach out about presenting again. We'll see I've got a pretty busy summer. I've got a few events lined up. Probably, but you know, if not, then I'd love if you want to hear more about promotion. I know we spent the whole time talking about writing. Like, just let me know, and I can come back.
Yeah, follow her, you guys, because I mean, she has great things on her little social media. So I mean, I have it on my thing. Like, you know, it's at author Kimble, right?
At author A Kimble.
A Kimble, that's right. So I'm getting things wrong all night. And then where? Go ahead, Leslie. I'm interrupting you again.
No. So I assume anyone who wants to read your book can find it on Amazon.
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon. The links are in my bio on Instagram. That's a very social media. Check out the link in my bio.
Yeah, right. But also the audiobook, you guys, is very entertaining. I remember, I think I first started listening to Harry Potter, and that reader got like an Academy Award or whatever they get for the guy that read that. But she did a really good job with your book.
She did a great job. Yes.
So that would be great.
Sandra Ladd, she did a great job on the audiobook.
All right. Well, please join Virgin Authors here on Facebook live on the third Thursday of every month. And don't miss our special episodes featuring the authors from the new publishing house, Zibby Books.
We're also going to, I'm just going to say, interrupt again. Our next one is like in a week or 2 weeks on May 5th with the author a Zibby Books author, and her name is Jane Delury. I hope I'm pronouncing that. It's really early. It's a 9 o'clock in the morning one, Pacific time. So check our website. Sorry,
Which,
Alice.
excuse me, is 6 o'clock in the morning here, so I probably will not be present. But Mandy and Jana will take good care of her.
I've been there for everything. Raw meat. Anyway, I didn't.
Whoops.
Oh.
Jana
Well,
froze.
thank you very much for having me.
Thanks again, Allison. And now I just have to figure out how to stop the live stream. Here we go. Bye, everyone. Thanks again. See you next time.